Good morning, everyone. I'm Morella Rosa from BPED 2. So, we are a group 9. So, I'm La Rosa Morella M. And my other group is Mr. Humarang JBC and Divillian Mika Joy A. So, before we start our report, last time, we questioned all of students, how are you at this moment? Are you happy? Or hindi? Sad or crying? Or kung ano man. So, nagkaroon po kami ng recap or recall sa previous topic. So, the online game show. So, word hunt. So, yun po ang ginamit namin na game. And then, that. At ayun na po nga po ang answer. So, our topic is all about the nature and characteristics of social groups. So, the definition of social groups and the types of social groups. So, what comes first into your mind when you hear the word social groups? So, social group. A social group is two or more humans or a collection of people who interact with one another and share similar characteristics and collectively have a sense of unity. They also accept expectations and obligations as members of the group and share a common identity. So, renowned social psychologist Muzaffar Sherif formulated a technical definition of social group. It is a social unit consisting of a number of individuals interacting with each other with respect to common motives and goals, an accepted division of labor, established status relationships, accepted norms and values with reference to matters relevant to the group, and the development of accepted sanctions such as arrest and punishment when norms were respected or violated. So, type of social groups: primary groups, secondary groups, in-groups, out-groups, online communities. So, a primary group is typically a small social group whose members share close, personal, enduring relationships. Primary groups are marked by concern for one another, shared activities and culture, and long periods of time spent together. They are psychologically comforting and quiet, influential in developing personal identity. Secondary groups are the larger groups whose relationships are impersonal and goal-oriented. Their relationships are temporary. Secondary groups include groups in which one exchanges explicit commodities such as labor for wages, service for payments, and such. They also include university classes, athletic teams, and groups of co-workers. The third one is in-groups. In-groups are social groups to which an individual feels he or she belongs. In groups refers to the group you belong to and identify with when your group is interacting with another group. The fourth one is outgroups. An outgroup, conversely, is a group someone doesn't belong to. Often we may feel disdain or competition in relationship to an outgroup. The fifth one is the online community group. An online community, also called an internet community or web community, is a community whose members interact with each other primarily via the internet. Members of the community usually share common interests. For many, online communities may feel like home, consisting of a family of invisible friends. Social groups provide requirements to the needy people. In this way, the satisfaction of needs is the binding force among the individuals and unites them into social groups. Society has divided people into the different groups according to their needs and interests. These groups have reciprocal rule in the society. So the next one is the nature of social groups. So the nature of social groups it is the structural and functional arrangement. From structural point of view, it concerns role, status, norms, values, institutions. Functionally, society may be defined as a complex of groups in reciprocal relationships interacting upon one another, enabling each person to achieve the fulfillment of life. So next one is the group dynamics. It is a system of behaviors and psychological process occurring within a social group or between social groups. Patterns of social interaction influenced by group size, leadership style, conformity, and also the group decision making. So, the group size dyad. A dyad consisting of two people. A dyad is perhaps the most cohesive of all groups because of its potential for very close and intense interactions. It also runs the risk, though, of splitting up. Triad. A triad is a group of consisting of three persons. Triad does not tend to be as cohesive and personal as dyad. So, a leadership style. A leadership style refers to a leader's characteristic between when directing, motivating, guiding, and managing a group of people. The first bullet is authoritarian. The second one is democratic, and the third one is laissez-faire. So, authoritarian. An authoritarian leadership style is exemplified when a leader dictates policies and procedures, decide what goals are to be achieved, and direct and control all activities without any meaningful participation by the subordinates. Such a leader has full control of the team, leaving law autonomy within the groups. Democratic. So the democratic leadership, also known as participative leadership or shared leadership, is a leadership style in which members of the group take a participative role in the decision-making process. This type of leadership can apply to any organization from private business to schools to the government. So, laissez-faire. Laissez-faire leaders have an attitude of trust and reliance on their employees. They don't micromanage or get too involved. They don't give too much instruction or guidance. They don't give too much. Instead, laissez-faire leaders let their employees use their creativity, resources, and experience to help them meet their goals. Conformity. Conformity is the process whereby people change their beliefs, attitudes, actions, or perceptions to more closely match those held by group to which they belong or won't belong, or by groups whose approval they desire. Conformity has important social implications and continues to be actively researched. The positive. Under the positive is a social under, and the negative under the negative is groupthink and blind obedience. So next one is the group decision making. So the group decision making is a type of participatory process in which multiple individuals acting collectively analyze problems or situations, consider and evaluate alternative courses of action, and select from among the alternatives a solution or solutions. So the next one is the characteristic of social groups. Characteristic of social groups. Following are the important characteristics of social groups. First one is the mutual awareness, one or more common interest, sense of unity, we feeling, similarity of behavior, and the last one is the group norms. So the mutual awareness. The members of the social group must be mutually related to one another. A more aggregate of individuals cannot constitute a social group unless reciprocal awareness exists among them. Mutual attachment is therefore regarded as its important and distinctive feature. It forms an essential feature of a group. One or more common interests. Groups are mostly formed for the fulfillment of certain interests. The individual who form a group should possess one or more than one common interests and ideas. It is for the realization of common interests that they meet together. Groups always originated, starts, and proceed with a common interest. Sense of unity. Each social group requires sense of unity and a feeling of sympathy for the development of a feeling or sense of the belongingness. The members of social groups develop common loyalty or feeling of sympathy among themselves in all matters because of this sense of unity. 4 is the we feeling. A sense of we feeling refers to the tendency on the part of the members to identify themselves with the group. They treat the members of their own group as a friends and the members belonging to other groups as outsiders. They cooperate with those who belong to their groups and all of them protect their interests unitedly. We feeling generated sympathy, loyalty, and fosters cooperation among the members. 5. Similarity of behavior. For the fulfillment of common interest, the members of a group behave in a similar way. Social group represent collective behavior. The modes of behaviors of the members on a group are more or less similar. The last one is group norms. Each and every group has its own ideals and norms, and the members are supposed to follow this. He deviates from the existing norms is severely punished. These norms may be in the form of costumes, folkways, mores, traditions, law, and etc. They may be written or unwritten. The group exercises some control over its member to the prevailing rules of norms. Next, also, this is the quotes. Now, in any social group, whatever, even in a gang of thieves, we find some interest held in common, and we find a certain amount of interaction and cooperative intercourse with other groups. From these two traits, we derive a standard. And that would be all. Thank you so much. Keep safe and God bless everyone.